Welcome to Forum. Forum is a public affairs program sponsored by the New Ulm Cable Access TV, NewCat. And I'm Teresa Caveney with the New Ulm League of Women Voters. The League is dedicated to public education and citizen participation in government. We're nonpartisan, nonprofit, and some of our programs include candidate forums for city, county, and state legislative candidates. We hold bi-monthly meetings on the second Saturday. Our organization does a fair amount of voter registration and voter education, and we certainly welcome you to visit us at League of Women Voters, LWVMN.org. You can find us on the web. This month, October, is the National Month of the Cooperative. Minnesota was the first state to acknowledge or to declare National Month of the Cooperative, and this is also International Year of the Cooperative. So our guest today is with one type of a cooperative, Troy Dietrich, who is the Executive Vice President of Southpoint Financial Credit Union here in New Ulm. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. So tell us about Southpoint Financial Credit Union and what makes credit unions unique as a co-op.
So Southpoint is located, our New Ulm office is located 706 North German, so at the intersection of German and Highway 15. So we have 8 locations. We were chartered actually in 1936 under the name St. Mary's Parish Sleepy Eye Credit Union.
Oh my.
So that's our roots, is the Catholic Church in Sleepy Eye. But over the course of time have grown to serve more than just that one sponsor group. We actually are part of a much larger industry of credit unions. We are not-for-profit, cooperatively owned financial institutions. The distinction, I guess I would make between not-for-profit financial institutions and for-profit would be when the decision was made by individuals to start their institution, they made that determination if they wanted to be cooperatively owned, really for the benefit of that common bond that all of those individuals share, or if they wanted to be a for-profit business, really that would exist for maybe the financial benefit of the shareholders of that business. And so there are very, very good institutions that are both for-profit and not-for-profit, but the credit unions are in the cooperative space.
And is a person who's doing business at Southpoint a member? Do we have a governance voting right, if you will?
Yeah, so membership is a common term that we use in the cooperative space, and that's just a differentiation from, let's just say, the word customer for a for-profit banking institution. And so yes, so all of our account holders at Southpoint are called members, member owners. That's a term you hear quite frequently, and that is the same for all credit unions across the country. And it's very, very simple to be a member owner of a credit union. It's really just when you're opening up your account, whether it be a checking account or whatever type of account loan, we have one additional account that we have to open for you, and that's what's called a membership share savings. And it's just a very simple process that just indicates that you are a one share owner of your cooperative.
What are the benefits of membership in Southpoint?
So the credit unions, as not-for-profits, we are tax exempt entity. Now that doesn't mean all taxes. We are income tax exempt. Okay, and so that benefit is also passed on to our member owners. And so the interest rates that we charge for loans, the interest rates that we pay on deposits, the fees that are charged for services are reflective of that not-for-profit status. And so that's really one of the major benefits of being a credit union member. I'd say one of the secondary benefits is that as a ordinary citizen member of Southpoint, you get to also be a volunteer participant in the governance of the credit union as well, if you choose. So we have several committees that we have volunteer members on that are provide us guidance on products and services we should offer, but they also provide us oversight guidance on how we run the credit union, from just various audit types of committees all the way to our board of directors.
And I'm aware that there's an annual membership meeting.
We do. Yeah, we have a annual meeting of the members for the cooperative. Many cooperatives are formed around that annual meeting model, and it's that one time per year that the cooperative gets its members together, whoever is interested in attending, and you have a business meeting, and you take care of the affairs of the cooperative that require the entire membership to participate. Election of board members, changes to your bylaws, things like that. Those are common at an annual meeting of members.
And what communities currently have a Southpoint Credit Union?
So we are in 8 communities in, I would call it, central and southern Minnesota. So our roots are originated in Sleepy Eye, but we have a branch also in Springfield and here in New Ulm. So, and then continuing to the east down Highway 14 in North Mankato. We turn from there and go north on 169 to St. Peter.
Okay.
And then even further north, Hutchinson, Waconia, and Buffalo. So those are the locations, our branch locations. We do also own an insurance agency, and that's physically located in Wilmer. So those 9 facilities all contain Southpoint staff. We also have one other facility in Sleepy Eye, which is on the same property as our branch, and that is our administrative center, where our staff that are not working directly with members face-to-face reside.
Can you just touch on the products and services that Southpoint offers? I wasn't aware of the insurance division, and I should be, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think the simplest way to describe the services that we offer is they're banking services. So those would be deposit products like checking and savings, certificates of deposit, but also loan products, so consumer loans, real estate loans to buy a home or to fix a home. We also have commercial and agricultural lending products, as well as deposit products. To go a little bit further than that, which isn't always common with all credit unions, would be the insurance services. And then also, we also offer what we refer to as wealth management services, or investment services for individuals who are looking to, looking for other maybe retirement types of products, IRAs, things like that, that they may not be able to get at a traditional financial institution.
And with respect to ag loans, is that ownership, operating?
Correct.
Both?
Yes. So if you're a farming operator and you're looking to purchase land, you're looking to finance equipment, we provide those types of that type of financing. But if you're an agricultural business and you're selling to owner operators, we also provide financing as well.
Any changes on the horizon with interest rates, or up or down, or with the economy that you see as it would affect the credit union?
Yeah, so it's very difficult for any financial institution to give any kind of prognostications on rates. We just did recently see an interest rate decrease by the Fed. The odds seem to be pointing towards possibly another one yet this year. The impact of those Federal Reserve rate changes tend to be seen and felt relatively quickly after a rate change when it comes to loan products that are tied to, like, the prime interest rate, that Wall Street Journal prime. It's a common index that I think most people who have maybe like a credit card, a variable rate credit card, if rates are going down with prime, they may see a decrease in their credit card interest rate. A lot of other types of home equity lines of credit, things like that have variable interest rates, going down in prime, they will see a benefit from that. But that's been the opposite for quite a while, that rates have been going up. And so it's certainly a welcome change. I think many of our business members and agricultural members are also benefiting from that downward interest rate environment. You know, where it goes from here, we don't know, but at least it's a positive sign for now.
Well, at least something is going down as far as cost of living. That's good. What other financial credit unions exist in Minnesota?
So we're one of about 85 credit unions in Minnesota, and those 85 are about 10% of all cooperatives in Minnesota, around 800 or so. There are credit unions that are very, very large in assets. Names might be that people might associate would be True Stone Credit Union, True Stone Financial, Wings Financial, some of the larger credit unions, especially if they're based in the Twin Cities and maybe you're using Twin Cities media to promote their credit union. Those are some of the names of some really large credit unions in Minnesota, but there are many, many more smaller credit unions that are in rural Minnesota that are serving as community institutions and trying to meet the needs of rural Minnesota.
So some credit unions I notice are related to, say, public employees, or at least I thought that,
Yes.
like, or
Yes.
federal credit unions. Can you describe a little bit those differences? What would an example be? Well, I know that there's a credit union in Mankato that serves, I want to say, service people. But
Okay.
yeah.
So I, prior to working at Southpoint, worked for 5 years for Minnesota Valley Federal Credit Union in Mankato.
Oh, mhm.
And that might be the credit union that you're referring to. Their origin story was the teaching community in Mankato, a high school and college community. And that story is actually very similar to a lot of credit unions. Many credit unions were formed originally as a organization that served employees of a sponsoring group, right? So St. Mary's Parish parishioners would have been the sponsor group for St. Mary's Credit Union, and that is very common. I think people who live in this area might be familiar with an insurance company based out of Owatonna called Federated Insurance. Federated Insurance still has their Federated Employees Credit Union. That would be an example. The credit union serves the employees of that employer group. Those are becoming fewer and further between. I think the main reason why we see that change is because those employers are merging with other organizations or are not residing anymore in Minnesota, whatever the situation may be with those employer groups. And as a result, their credit unions have had to make decisions about how are they going to continue to grow without that sponsor. And so it's like any other organization, times change, and so some of those credit unions have changed their name and have become more geographically oriented, similar to Southpoint today, serving really more of a geographic area versus just the parishioners at St. Mary's.
Thank you. How did Southpoint observe National Cooperative Month?
So today, for the past several years, really we have tried to just have something like in branch to be able to support, kind of International Credit Union Day. We just actually came off of a day of volunteerism earlier this month. We call it See You Forward Day here in Minnesota, but it's really a day of volunteerism, and where we spent, actually in our case, we were open for roughly half the day, and then for the other half of the day we were closed, and we were in our community serving members. And so really that's really what we have done. We've tried to take a proactive stance with serving in our communities in the month of October.
You also put a little missive in the newsletter, so I was glad of
Yes,
that. That was
yes.
where I learned that Minnesota was the first state to have a National Cooperative Month. So.
Yeah, it's really been our entire credit union industry in Minnesota is very forward thinking with regards to how do we show how do we show the residents of Minnesota that, that we're here and that we're very community focused, and that See You Forward Day is a great example of that.
Todd, how do people contact the credit union or inquire if they wish to become a member?
So membership you can either come into one of our branches. Certainly you could call our digital banking center, or you can go online, our website. So southpointfinancial.com is a great place to start. We have a button there to join Southpoint, so you don't have to come in if you don't want to. You can do it online. Or obviously you can certainly call us. 877-794-6712 is the number. And again, southpointfinancial.com is the website address. Or like I said, one of those 8 locations, community locations, we've got a financial branch that you can stop into.
Well, Todd, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate learning more about Southpoint.
Thank you.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure.